What's your name again?
Myron Peak. Yeah, my name's Myron Peak.
Myron Peak. And you own the business called what?
Lady George and the Dragon.
Okay. And how long you been here now?
A little over a year.
So what are the things that people come here looking for?
I get people looking for dragons, for fairies, for jewelry, for swords from time to time. The vases seem to be a real popular item. Chainmail jewelry is something that I sell that, you know, they're one-of-a-kind pieces. There's a gentleman here in town who's making axes and knives for me. Those are out on the road right now.
Okay.
I've got artwork done by local artisans, some of which is up right now, some went with him on the road. That's what we have right now, right here on this table. We've got, this is the chainmail jewelry, also some fine jewelry that are going by. It's obvious, which is chainmail. This, that's all hand done by a friend of mine in Colorado.
For those folks who don't know what chainmail is, what is chainmail?
Chainmail started out as armor. They would link pieces of steel wire together, and in the old days they would even rivet them together, and this would prevent a slashing cut. Now, that's when they then came out with what's called an epee, or the fencing type swords, that would go through the chainmail, and then they went to plate armor. In the meantime, while this stuff is nice for armor, it can also be nice for jewelry. Just make it out of different materials. Like the bright colored purple here is anodized aluminum. This is anodized titanium.
Who's your typical chainmail buyer?
All right, for chainmail, anybody, you know, I've had young people.
I mean, I know Renaissance fairs these days is a huge thing.
Oh, Renaissance fairs, a lot of the artisans that work at the Ren Fair like to wear the chainmail. Some people, like guys, like to wear the chainmail because it's a heavier piece of jewelry. They don't feel so frou-frou with something like, you know, like this. Oops.
So we have a lot of little figurines here.
Yeah. Now, for the fairies, I get statues like this. These are some of the angels that I've picked up. You've got stained glass butterflies, some wind or sun catchers. You would hang something like that in your window. I've got it on a dragon wind chime. I've also got fairy wind chimes. I've got wolf wind chimes. That's one of the dragon statues. Now this is resin, as opposed to the horses here are porcelain, and they're collector items. They only make so many of those. Mm-hmm. Each one of those has their own number. So they're a little difference in price.
Okay. I know you do sell a lot of vases.
Now the vases are all hand done. I talked to the lady that makes those, and she started out when she was 5 or 6 years old working with her dad in a glass making company or factory, and so she learned how to make them when she was that age, and she's gone on to do more art than.
So these aren't like made on an assembly line?
No, these are all individual. You can see there's even flaws in some of them. It's not exactly round. Where's that one? Not that one. This one has a flaw in it right there. And it's just one of the things that happens when you're doing things by hand, individually. You can't throw out a piece like that, you just sell it.
Sure.
These are, so we have the tall ones, we've also got the smaller size too.
Okay.
There's another lady that does, this is some of her artwork, that's a bronze piece. Obviously, now, the bronze copies are not her original pieces, but she did the original, then they do bronze copies. Her castings are the same thing.
Okay. And I do notice you have a lot of dolls for sale.
Yeah. Now, this is a novelty item that we picked up. The company caught my attention because they're called Bleeding Edge, and they do quote-unquote golf dolls. This one's my favorite. No, not that one. Where is she? If you ever watch NCIS, it looks like Abby. from NCIS.
Yeah.
That one I really like.
But you also have more traditional.
We have more traditional porcelain dolls.
Are the dolls your thing?
No. The dolls are my wife's thing. Although that one caught my attention when I was at the trade show. They had it sitting on the floor. And I thought it was a little girl that I bumped into. And I turned around to apologize and went, whoa, it's a doll. And then the prices were pretty good. And so we picked up a few of them. That company no longer makes them. So what's here is going to be it, unless I can find another company that took it over. We're at 416 E Street, across the street on the from the courthouse building on the east side.
And when are your hours?
From 10 o'clock until 5:30, although I do close from 12 to 12:30 for lunch.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for the tour.
Okay. Oh, and I'm also open on Saturday from 10 to noon. And stop in, get one of my cards. You can call me and make an appointment. Come in, I'll come down after hours.
Great. Thanks a lot.
SoundOffFairbury.com